Welcome all, everybody. It is From the Pocket, coming at you not live, but on a Monday morning, where we are recapping a lot of the Week 2 action. Now, Christian, full disclosure, we are recording this Sunday night in the middle of the Sunday night game, so we cannot react to that quite yet. We still have 2 Monday night games, obviously, as well, but we can react to everything else. And Christian, boy, oh boy, was it a wild Week 2.
Yeah, I think it was. We saw a lot of stuff going on this on Sunday. So, tonight or this earlier today.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, we're living in 2 different zones, right? Sunday, but we're recording, Sunday, but it's Monday. Either way, I feel like we say every week, wow, what a crazy week this was. But it's honestly because every week in the NFL is just insanity. And again, this was no different.
I mean, we did start the season off with big game. So
we did. And Chiefs get a very tough loss. Cowboys Eagles have a classic NFC East shootout. Jags Bengals was crazy. Bears Lions was a total blowout.
Yeah.
Crazy game with the Seahawks Steelers.
The Cardinals and Panthers was interesting.
Wild ending.
Yeah.
Wild ending. And then the Broncos Colts was insane at the end, too. So we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to get into these games.
Sure, we can start off with the Eagles and Chiefs. So,
all right. What
did you see from this game starting out, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, immediately, my immediate reaction was it was a very defensive game. Neither quarterback. There was one point in the game, like in the third quarter, late in the third, where I think Jalen Hurts had like 60 yards passing. Patrick Mahomes had like 117. Yardage was very, very tough to come by. It was a 10-10 halftime score, which, it was 24-0 at halftime during the Super Bowl in the same matchup. So just to kind of give you a sense of how even it is. But I kind of the thing that jumped out to me that I thought Tom Brady made this point on the broadcast, and I thought it was a great point. He talked about how both defenses in the Super Bowl were actually very good. I mean, obviously we know what the Eagles defense did, but the Chiefs for large stretches of that game were actually very good defensively. The difference was the offensive miscues that they were having, and that was really the difference in the score. The Chiefs in this first half, and really for most of this game up until, what happened with Travis Kelce, they were playing a very clean offensive game, and you saw that reflected in the score. So I thought that was an interesting point, but all in all, to me, it was a great defensive game. A lot of fun.
Yeah, so the Chiefs were held to just 94 total yards, and the Eagles were held to 216 yards. Mahomes I know he was pretty clean, and that's his MO, but he is missing some deep throws. He's 1 for 5 for 20 plus yards.
Wow.
And the one he did complete was a touchdown to Tyquan Thornton.
A little too late, though, at the end. At that point, it was like you're kind of just on a prayer and a hope that you can get the ball back and go score. You're still down by 3 points after that. So,
and then the Eagles are just, getting within the 3rd and 1 or whatever and doing their awful play.
We'll talk about that in a second.
I hate that play so much.
I have some new thoughts on it, but to me, again, as I said previously, the Travis Kelce miss was absolutely the turning point.
Yeah.
It was gutting watching it, especially if you were me. One of my best bets were the Chiefs plus 1.5, so I was actively rooting on the Chiefs to kind of get back into it. Mm-hmm. And it was 10-13, and the Chiefs are like right there. They're absolutely going to tie it. They can probably take the lead, and long, brutal, arduous drive. Every yard was earned in this game, and you get down there. Finally, you've put together a drive after it's been a long time in the game since they had, and Travis Kelce just gets his head around a little too late, bobbles a pass, and Makuba, in his second play as a pro, gets the INT. Josh Simmons, though, their rookie tackle, chased him down and stopped it from being a touchdown, but it would ultimately be a touchdown anyway. So, yeah, that was really tough to watch. Just as a fan of football, just seeing all that effort not materialize.
It happens. Like
It does. It
it
does. That's football.
happens.
And you know, I will say this about the Eagles really quick before we kind of get into the tush push conversation. Their offense, obviously, I mean, as you can probably glean from the defensive struggle fest that this was, their offense was not great. And really, even on that drive after the Makuba interception, it was 3rd and 10. Like, they were not moving the ball. It was like, okay, Chiefs are about to stop them here. No harm, no foul. Like, we still got this. We're in the game. And Jalen Hurts just throws a prayer ball up to Devontae Smith. And him and McDuffie had been going back and forth all game long, and he just gets positioning on McDuffie, catches it at the goal line, and that's when it was like, oh, okay, this game is probably over.
Yeah. And going back to your previous point about Brady talking about the defenses, I think the Chiefs we knew what their game plan was. It was going to probably be the same as it was in the Super Bowl, where if we can stop Saquon and not let him get these explosive runs and make the Eagles matriculate down the field,
Yeah.
And they'll make it tough for them. And that's what this is the game that they were hoping for in the Super Bowl. This is kind of what the game plan how it was supposed to look. Have the Eagles struggle and work for these yardage, but it worked for the yards that they got, but it just didn't work out for them in the Super Bowl, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for them here. But are you worried about the Chiefs now that their first 0-2 start since 2014 for the Chiefs?
I'm not super worried about them. Their defense improved. I mean, again,
Yes.
like I know some of the Eagles offense. I don't know. This Eagles offense is really reminding me of what it was 2 years ago when they lost Shane Steichen and got that new coordinator, and it was like, man, this is a really rough watch. Like, you're winning and you're making situational plays, but it really was the entire basis of their offense was just, we just got better dudes than you, and it really, I don't know, like when the entire game is won because Devontae Smith gets a prayer ball and you're just able to push your way to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in short situations. I think it makes the Chiefs' job easier defensively. So, maybe the Chiefs, this was not a good indication of what this Chiefs defense could be. I thought it was more promising though, but offensively, yeah, I mean, I am worried about this. I mean, Hollywood Brown ended up finishing the game, but I mean, at one point he came off the field limping in it, and I'm just like, how many receivers do they have? I mean,
not a lot.
And Xavier Worthy is probably coming back next week if I had to guess. It seems like
they need him. They need him.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like he'll miss more than one more game. Just the vibes and the reporting that I'm feeling from it and getting and gleaming. But yeah, I mean, after next week, you're halfway through the Rashee Rice suspension.
Yeah.
This run game is just, I mean, you and I, we've been huge fans of Isaiah Pacheco on this podcast for years, but I think Isaiah Pacheco has definitely kind of lost a step. And I lack a lot of confidence in their big play ability, even though that was something they want to emphasize. I mean, we're at the point now they're 0-2. This is how many they lost 2 games all of last year.
And now they're starting off the season.
And they've lost. I mean, it's the first time Patrick Mahomes has lost 3 straight. Like, it goes on and on. I'm not worried about them in terms of, like, they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoff picture.
They have earned this grace. I know we're probably going to hear tomorrow or tomorrow from, like, ESPN, First Things First and all that, like, how the Chiefs are looking and how, the season is on fire. It's not. The smart people will say this team will figure it out. They've been there. They've done that. They will get this fixed. It just needs to start with they need Xavier Worthy back. Like you said, they're halfway through this Rashee Rice suspension, so I think it's going to pick up. But they still got a lot of tough games in this stretch. So it's going to be interesting to see. But like if a team can get out of this hole that I can trust is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They will fix this.
I mean, and it's helped by the fact the Chargers and the Raiders play tomorrow, right? So one of them is going to be 2-0. One of them is going to be 1-1. The Broncos lost a game that they should have won today, so they're 1-1. So like now you're going into next week. You're playing the Giants, which
Sunday night
should be Sunday night. Yeah, I mean that should be a win for you.
Yeah.
If they do lose to the Giants and they're 0-3, that's when
okay. If we lose to the Giants,
that's when we're having a different discussion.
Yeah,
that's when we're having a different discussion.
If they lose to the Giants, I will come up here and be like, I am worried.
Officially official. But it's not like the Broncos. If the Broncos had won, I'd be like, okay, they're 2-0. One of these teams tomorrow we're going to be 2-0. You're 0-2, but like you're going to have 2 1-1 teams in this division. The Chiefs being 0-2 and 1 2-0 team. That you can overcome that. You can still, at worst, position for the wild card. And, I haven't lost faith that they can still come back and win this division. The Ravens started out 0-2 last year and still ended up winning their division by multiple games. So, but good luck to the Chiefs. And I think they'll right the ship next week. I think we'll see them get on the board and all will be well. Before we move on, some fun stats, Christian. Just some stats I came across for this game. One, Josh Simmons on that touchdown-saving tackle, big boy, 18.35 miles per hour on that tackle. That's a quick, big guy right there. So good on Josh Simmons. And then also next-gen stats, some blitz stats. So there was almost no blitzes at all in the Super Bowl last year.
I mean, yeah, they were
from either team.
4.
from either team. The Eagles blitzed Mahomes 11 times in this game after not doing it once in the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs blitzed Jalen Hurts 16 times for 64% blitz rate on his 25 dropbacks. So a lot of blitzing. So that's fun.
Ball.
Yeah.
All right, you want to talk about the controversial?
Which one is that?
Look, I'm tired of it. The tush push.
Oh, right. I totally forgot we were talking about the tush push. My bad. Yes, I do want to talk about the tush push really quick.
I'm so tired of this fucking play.
Look,
I'm so tired of it.
Look, I don't like it, but I have always been of the mind of like, look, if only the Eagles are doing this well, like I'm not going to take it away from the Eagles. If this was something every team was doing and it was automatic, I'd be like, yeah, let's ban it. This is stupid. But the Eagles are the only one that make it automatic. Now, that said, we saw this in week 1 in kind of a retrospective way, and we saw it during the game in week 2, where this play just seems impossible to officiate.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, because I know a lot of people it was ugly for TV, and it's like, I mean, yeah, but like football is football, But yes, like we're getting to the point where this thing is very hard to officiate. You have guards lining up illegally. You can't tell where the ball is,
just bodies on top of bodies.
Bodies on bodies. Whatever happens in the scrums.
Fumbled that last, did he fumble that last, that last tush push they had? There's a replay of Eagles players look like they jumped off sides before the ball was snapped.
Yeah. I mean, and it's very much a what happens in the scrum stays in the scrum kind of thing. And it's just not, it's getting to the point where it is getting because I think tensions run so high on it now because when the Eagles line up on it, everybody knows what is about to happen. And you see these defenses getting more and more and more desperate and just doing crazier and crazier things. And the Eagles, I think, are responding to that. And so that's where you're getting like, we got to get a little bit of an edge here. We got to line up a little closer now because they're crowding, and we might have to get a little, they're getting off earlier. So I think you're just getting to a breaking point with it where it's like, this thing is just kind of becoming a mess.
Yes.
And if we can find a way to officiate this, right, where like the refs are saying you need to get here, you need to be here, and we can find a way to consistently feel like this is being officiated well, I would be fine with it. I don't know if it can be though.
But how do we officiate it when there's bodies on goddamn bodies? I don't know where the ball is. Where is the ball? How did he get that first down? I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening. No,
this is
I feel you.
This is dumb. like I was with you in the beginning there too. Like, hey, the Eagles are doing it, and it seems like only the Eagles could do it. That was fine, but now we're at the point where, like, did he like that last one? He got the first down. Like I clearly saw him like move. I was like, cool. But like the other ones, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, I don't. Did he get that? Like, I don't know if he moved that inch or yard or whatever. So I'm on the. I've come radicalized. Ban this play. I just like it is like it like I'm sorry. It's a basic argument, but it is not good for TV.
I mean,
don't
and
know
again,
what,
like
and like being there live, I like I can't see it. Like I
that'd
have
be a terrible thing to see happen live at the game.
like I'm at my couch. I'm at my couch watching the game, and I'm like, where's the ball? Did he get it?
No, I feel you. Again, like the TV arguments never appealed to me, and like, but yeah, I mean, I think we're again. I would be shocked if we don't come out of this offseason now where everybody's like, there's literally no way to officiate this. Like we have lost the plot on it. It's time. So yeah, that's where I'm at on it. But yeah. All right, Christian, what game you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about your game. That was the funnest game of this entire week too. I mean, first thing first, Malik Neighbors go burr.
I have him in fantasy.
Malik Neighbors go burr.
Some very mixed feelings. He scored that last second touchdown, and I was like, I mean, I just scored like 15 points, but you know, I'm a little sad at how I scored.
Again, I am I'm so sad. I was talking up this Giants team so much, and you know, this defense gave up 21 to the Commanders in week 1, and now coming out here to the Cowboys and giving up 37 points, 500 yards. I was just like, what is happening?
It was tough, and I do feel the frustration if you're the Giants, because this was the unit that was supposed to be amazing for you. Like if literally the expectation for this defense to me was like, oh man, that was a great interception. Sorry, I'm watching the Sunday night game in live, but the expectation is like, if you're like, okay, our defense scored 37 points. Let's say your offense does that 4 or 5 times this year. You should go 4-1 minimum in those games. Like, because unless you're playing a just super high powered offense, which the Cowboys offense is not bad, but like, I don't think of the Cowboys offense at its current juncture as like an elite high powered offense. Maybe we'll get to the end of the season and it will be. Dak will just have amazing numbers, but I understand why you would be frustrated with that personally.
Yeah, I mean, but it was great to see Russell Wilson play. Had a career high. I did not know that. Like even in his Seattle days, in his prime. So it was great to see that. And I mean, you live by the moon ball, you die by the moon ball. What was that last throw? Like you're just heaving up. That was just you heaving it up, and you've been making plays all day with it. And he just kind of threw it up there. Like,
it was a total miscommunication. Malik Neighbors was running a corner route, and Russ thought he was just going, and he threw it like it was a go ball, and Malik cut out, and it was like, oh, we're done. But again, like, that is supposed, like, I want to know. I don't have the stats on it. I would love it if somebody drew up these stats. What percentage of their yards came on the moon ball? Like, because that was it was like, yeah, did Scattaboo had a couple of had a couple of nice runs. You know?
I like Scattaboo.
I do too. Like, but I would not be shocked if half their offense was literally just like, we just threw it deep and just threw a prayer up there. And like, that is a play that is supposed to work if you're good at it 30% of the time. And they had it work over and over and over again, and it's like they got it ended on an interception. It's like, yeah, dude, that's what happens when you throw the moon ball 8 times. You're going to have an interception.
Some next-gen stats for you. So Russell Wilson completed 7 of 11 deep passes for 264 yards. He had 450, so I'm not a mathematician, but it sounds like a lot. 3 touchdowns and interceptions. The most deep passing yards by a quarterback in a game since at least 2016.
Wow. What? That's as far as next gen goes, like publicly. So that's fascinating. And look, the Cowboys, like, the offense was great. Dak was clutch. I mean, Dak, this was a fantastic game by Dak. Dak has played 2 games this season, and he has been fantastic in both of them. I mean, getting the ball with
potential MVP.
I mean, well, they have to win a lot. Now, this does not feel like a team that's going to win a lot after a performance like this. But, I mean, 19 seconds. He gets the ball with 19 seconds left, and it's like, go put yourself in field goal range, and he does it. He does. Now, granted, Brandon Aubrey drilled a 60-plus yarder to tie the game up.
I was like, is he gonna make this?
I was annoyed because it was like 8 seconds left, and they're like acting like, okay, yeah, this is good, and I'm like, guys, this is a 64-yarder. I'm like, we don't have to have him do this.
we don't need. He can hit him, but
we have a timeout.
We don't need to do this.
Throw an out route. Like, if we don't get it, we don't get it. But, like, let's try to get like 10 more yards here. Like, we don't need him to make a 60. And then they're just like, run the ball, put the ball where Brandon wants it, and it's like, and then he drills it anyway, and it's like, I mean, yeah, but like, I don't.
Sure.
Yes. We didn't have to do this, but. You know, they did get help, and the Cowboys got a lot of penalties too. Like, you know, this was not just a one-sided penalty, but the Giants, it felt like every other play the Giants were getting a penalty. I mean, it was crazy how many penalties they were getting.
Undisciplined.
And they had their lineman, James Hudson. Did you see or hear about this?
No.
Their lineman on the opening drive of the game, James Hudson, was penalized 4 times on one drive.
Jesus. You can't win like that.
He got benched.
Of course, of course you get benched.
For reference, for those of you listening, the league leader typically averages about 1 penalty a game on the offensive line. So 4 in 1 drive is absurd. There's a lot of linemen that will not have 4 penalties all season long. So, anyway.
And it's crazy. They still put up 37 points.
They did. I mean, you know, and again, like, this really does beg the question, is this bad Cowboys defense? Was this just the Giants offense finally clicking? Like, I'm curious to see what we're going to get next week from the Giants against that Chiefs defense. I'm not confident, but who knows? Other small note, Jackson Dart made his debut. Didn't throw a pass, ran the ball a few times, handed it off, but, you know, nonetheless saw some field action. So, Christian, the Giants are now the only winless team in this division. 1 week, it's their offense unable to do anything, but their defense is okay. Next week, their defense is totally hapless, and their offense looks amazing. What are you thinking about the Giants going forward, and are you panicked?
I mean, the product that has been shown has just been wildly inconsistent in these first 2 weeks. I don't think it's going to look great against Patrick Mahomes. Now, maybe this defense, they'll get in the film room this Monday and, you know, fix all the things that went wrong, because a lot of things went wrong defensively. And I think this unit can be good. They got a tough opponent, so hopefully they wake up for that and they're extra prepared. But I don't know what I'm going to get from this offense. I think this defense will figure it out and get fixed. I am just unsure after these first 2 weeks what I'm going to get out of the Giants offense. Am I going to be expecting this, or can I just get a middle ground? Can we put we got 2 extremes. We had a very poor showing in the first week, and then we got this insane explosion of can we come to the middle? Like, can we score 24 or 25? You know, can we get in the 20s? And then we'll see. I'm not worried so much about this defense. I think this defense is where this team like all their like a lot of draft capital and stuff has been put over there on that side. So I do think they'll get that fixed. I just don't know what to think about this offense.
Yeah, and I gotta say, going into next week, it's really tough knowing that you're going into a game 0-2 being like, man, we need a win. We need a win if we want to do anything this season. And the team you're playing across from is a Chiefs team that is also 0-2 and is feeling that same kind of pressure. That's awful. That is a terrible situation to be in if you're the Giants. So good luck. But yeah, I mean, and as for the Cowboys, I'll just end on this. I lost a little bit of confidence in the Cowboys. I mean, like, I like this defense is just bad. It's bad, and I know Deron Bland is hurt, but I mean, Deron Bland gonna be gone for a few weeks, and that's not a good sign. And Kyer Elam, he is horrible. I mean, he is terrible. He was bad in Buffalo. I don't know why we signed him. He is terrible. He's bad. So I just
dude, it's a lot of and they're just picking on him. Yeah, all the goddamn time.
Just do that. Just go pick on him. And I mean, I have been pleasantly surprised at how well we're running the ball. We're doing pretty. Javonte Williams is having a pretty good season through 2 weeks. Miles Sanders is showing some flashes.
George Pickens
sighting today.
He had a good game. I think he had a good game. Made some great plays late in that game.
So yeah. And that offensive pass interference they called on him was stupid.
That was garbage.
That was a trash.
I'm like, where? I thought, dude, when they threw it and they called it OPI, I thought he shoved.
I expected a bad shove.
I thought he shoved to the ground.
That's the standard
play.
Yeah, that's
a regular football. I mean, I guess with him, it's kind of like the Draymond thing. You're like, ugh. When you see him act up a little bit, you're like,
I imagine George Pickens has a shorter leash with referees than a lot of other players do. But all right, let's talk Bengals Jaguars. JB, know him, you love him. JB came through. Not Joe Burrow. Who'd you think I was talking about? You thought I was talking about Joe Burrow? I'm talking about Jake Browning. Jake Browning getting it done for the Bengals at home, saving the game.
So, Jake Browning, as we know, is back in the lineup. Joe Burrow was seen with a left the game in the second quarter, was limping off the field. Well, I think he limped off the field on his own accord, but saw him in the 10th, and he went to the locker room and didn't come back. He is expected to go to a foot specialist. This is from Adam Schefter. Getting images of his toe injury is getting sent to foot specialist Dr. Robert Anderson to be reviewed. If surgery is deemed necessary, could sideline Burrow to up to 3 months.
Yeah.
Up to 3 months. But back to Jake Browning. Jake Browning, as you know, started for the Bengals back in 2023 when Joe Burrow got injured, and he played the last 7 games for them. And one of the games, his first win of that stretch he had, was against this very team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. 34-31 overtime game. He threw for 354 yards and a touchdown. So I think it was just kind of a full circle moment there, him getting the win here. And he did not play great in this game, had 3 interceptions, but I think he threw two touchdowns. And that first touchdown he threw to Mitchell Tinsley is his second year as a pro, and his first career catch was a sideline one-handed catch where he got his foot and his shin now. I thought that was great for Joe if Jake Browning has to take over. They went 4-3 back in 2023. So not too bad. He had 1,923 yards, had 70.4% completion, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So if Joe has to miss 3 months is a lot, but if Joe has to miss a significant time, I think Browning can hold down the ship at least a little bit. And he did get the win here versus Jacksonville. So
I'm going to take it a little bit out of order here because I do want to talk. I have a lot of thoughts on Jacksonville, but since we're talking about kind of the Bengals' outlook, I am very nervous about their outlook. Like, even if Joe Burrow misses a month, here are their next 4 games. Are you ready for this, Christian?
Go ahead.
Next week, on the road against the Vikings.
That's a tough one, yeah.
The next week, on the road, so back-to-back road games, Broncos.
I'm not
in Denver. I got like.
I'm
even if
still
you're
not
like,
too keen on your. I'm not. I don't.
But in Denver, like in
No,
Denver
no,
stuff.
that's fair. That is fair, but I'm still not very keen on your
Well,
Denver
all right.
Broncos.
How do you like this one? How about hosting the Lions?
I mean, yeah,
And then
they
after
showed up.
that, on the road against the Packers.
Oh, also, he did beat the Vikings in overtime. He
I
beat
mean,
the Vikings back in 2023, 27-24 overtime. So,
all right. But I mean, it's a tough, brutal month. And then even after that, like you have the Steelers, who maybe you don't have a lot of faith in the Steelers. We'll see where they're at in a month from now. But like, they're a division rival. I don't either, but they're a division rival. And then the Jets, even after that, they could be tough and frisky. I know they didn't look very good this week, but like it is a tough month. Now, if you go 1-3 in those, in these next 4 weeks, 1-3 is all you need to do. You're 3-3. You're 3-3. You're still right there, and then you're going into a stretch of Steelers, Jets, Bears, Steelers, Patriots. Which Patriots may not be an easy out, but like those are all
defenses. But...
those are all very winnable games for you. So we'll see what happens with Joe Burrow. We'll see if he has to get surgery, but they just need to get through this next month at least. Like, just don't go 0-for, and you're in okay shape.
Can't go 0-for.
And I want to talk about the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Because, look, I'm rooting for the Jaguars. They're my AFC South pick. I'm rooting for them.
I put them as they were my 7th seed.
They're your wild card. So, like, when I say this, know that I say it from a place of pain, not from a place of being a hater. This absolute shame on your family, Jacksonville. Shame on your family. Like this went from a game that you weren't supposed to win on the road against the Bengals to Joe Burrow going out, and this becomes a game you cannot lose. And they were leading the entire game until the very end. Either leading or tied. And, to be totally real, this was more of a Trevor Lawrence issue. Trevor Lawrence, I know you look at the box score, Trevor Lawrence looked good in the box score. This was not a good game for Trevor. Yeah, does he have his highs? Yes, sure. Of course. Oh my gosh, Justin Jefferson doing Justin Jefferson things. Sorry about that. But he had almost 3 picks in this game. They had the ball. It was 7-0. They're about to score. He throws an interception in the end zone. Could have been a 14-0 start, and instead now it's a 7-7 game after that following sequence. So I mean, I don't know what else to say. The dude, he's mid. He's a mid quarterback. And look, you can win a good amount of games with him. You can win 10 games with him if you have talent around him. Like, I'm not saying that you can't do that. The 16th best quarterback, that's what they can accomplish. But it is so frustrating to now we're looking at this guy be on his 3rd coach. And he's in his 5th year. And it's just the same.
Got a big contract.
And it's just the same story over and over and over again. And no, you're right about the big contract. Like that's another point to all of this, right? Like it's just frustrating. So, him and Liam Cohen are out there on the sidelines. He's like scolding him, and Trevor Lawrence is waving him off. And there's probably much ado about nothing, but like I feel the frustration from Liam Cohen. It's like, dude, like I'm running a beautiful system here, and you're just making bad throws and you're making bad mistakes. Like it's just, this was a very winnable game, and they should be 2-0. And this was, especially with the Colts winning in the later window of games, the Texans are playing a tough game against the Bucs. Like this was a great opportunity to really make some noise. And last thing I'll say, I know I've been talking for a minute. The Bengals, very well, you could be in the running with them for a wild card spot at the end of the season. Like this was a critical game for a tiebreaker, and you blew it. And it's bad. It's bad. Shame on Jacksonville. One of the biggest losers of the week, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I do share those sentiments with you as well. Also, I do want to highlight Brian Thomas Jr. has been playing well. He had 12 targets, 4 catches, 49 yards. And for all of that, all you said was beautifully said, Jake, and you are correct. Trevor Lawrence made the right play at the end of that game on that 4th down. He threw it to Brian Thomas, and I don't know if he was anticipating a hit because it was over the middle, but there was no one around him, and he just let the ball get out of his hands, and it pops up in the air. But that was the game. They immediately after that play, Jake Browning and that offense ran it straight down the field. It took him a little bit, but ran it straight down the field after that. I know I'm not defending Trevor Lawrence here, but Brian Thomas needs to take some blame for that drop there at the end of that game, because that would have sealed the game for him.
And before we move on here, last thing I'll say is Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter came in and played relief after Jerry Jones got hurt in the first quarter. So he didn't play a defensive snap until then. He finished the game with 42 snaps on offense and 37 snaps on defense. And he had a DPI on fourth down with under 2 minutes left, and it kept the Bengals drive alive. So tough day in that regard for Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's been okay. I feel like they're trying to get him involved offensively, but it's just not. He has not popped yet.
Yeah, he had 6 targets, 3 catches for 22 yards.
Yeah, and it's a very similar look to week 1, where it's like they're targeting him, and it's just, he might catch it, but he's not doing much. So early, nothing to panic about, but just another note. So okay, you want to talk about Bears-Lions?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and just open it up really quick. Detroit, Flowers did exactly what you needed to do.
That's how you respond.
That's how you respond. And really, I did want to make a point. That, to me, is the difference in upper echelon teams, and even teams that are like good but not great, right?
Yeah.
When the Lions have a terrible week 1 performance, when the Ravens have a heartbreaking performance in week 1, what do both those teams do against division opponents who are desperate? They come in there and thump them. Absolutely thump them. And the Lions looked so much more like what we expect them to be. Right?
From the jump, too.
From the jump. So
28
running the ball.
points in the first quarter?
Yeah, running the ball very, very well. Jared Goff just lighting them up, dicing them up. 5 touchdowns, 23 for 28. He completed 15 straight passes at one point in this game. And that offensive line, that was a totally different unit from last week. Maybe it's the Bears just not being able to get pressure as a unit, but that offensive line, Jared Goff is just like, it was that meme of Cam Ward in college just standing there. Like, it was kind of like that a little bit, just watching the game. My mother-in-law is a big Bears fan, and she's just like, they're not even getting to him. And I'm like, yeah, it's rough.
Just nothing much to add here. Just total domination by the Lions here. For the Bears, I don't know, man. I said the Bears were going to struggle early in this season. They're now 0-2 and 0-2 in the division, so you could probably say goodbye to those Bears winning that. I guess they're still in it, but
they're not in it. They're not.
But yeah, it feels like they're not in it. So you can say goodbye to those Bears winning the NFC North. Predictions there. Thing I'll say there for the Bears, Romeo Odunze has been impressing me.
Roma's been awesome.
He's been great. I thought we were gonna do a tier 2 receivers, like the second top 10 second receivers before the season. He was on my list. I thought he was gonna have a great breakout season, and I think so far he's playing up to the billing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
2 touchdowns, 178 yards.
He has been really good. And I on the Bears, I will say, good news, bad news. Good news is we're not really talking about Caleb Williams coming out of this game. Bad news is it's because we're talking about how bad the team as a whole was. I will quote The Athletic because it encapsulates it well. Disaster on every level. No pressure all game. I want to see what Next Gen Stats says about that when they release it. But gaping holes deep down the field. 511 total yards given up. Both J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown each had 100 yards total, and Jalen Johnson got hurt. So It's just bad. I will say, a lot of people talking about the O-line not working. Look, guys, offensive lines take a long time to come together. Like, this is basically a totally new unit. They're going to take some time to come. And, it's when you're on the road playing the Lions, not a great game to be like, we're coming together, y'all. Like, you're going to get.
You're a young team.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about the offensive line. And offensively, we saw much of the same from last week, right? Great script. They scored on their opening drive, and then it was just slowly as time went on, less and less and less. So, yeah, I mean, as you said, I think the Bears are out of the race for. I mean, look, they're 0-2, but like playoffs are still possible. But Packers are 2-0 and have looked like the best team in the league through 2 weeks. The Vikings are in the middle of a game right now, but I mean, they're already 1-0. They've already beaten you, and the Lions just beat you. So, like, you're looking up at 3 teams that it feels like are all clearly just better than you at this point. And that's unfortunate. I will give my last shout-out to Isaac Tesla, who had another amazing catch. He has had back-to-back weeks with amazing catches. I thought that sequence at the end of the first half was a little wonky. I was listening to it with the sound off, so I didn't really get I didn't get all the context as to what the rules were. But like, did you see that by chance?
With the Tesla catch, right?
Yeah. So like,
yeah, I was confused there too. So I think what happened was.
Yeah, I want to see if our understandings match. Yeah,
so
go ahead.
I think what happened was when he caught it, the sideline judge ruled him out of bounds. So the clock was supposed to stop.
Yes.
But I think when they were, because the Lions were in no rush to snap the ball. Like, they were like, oh yeah, we got out of bounds and all that stuff. But then I think the head, whoever is in charge of the spotting the ball and running the clock, they said he didn't get out of bounds. So we're on the same page. There was supposed to be a runoff, so it was a referee error. So they ended up giving it back to the Lions because of a referee error.
I did not like that, and like I understand it's like, I personally, when that happened, and I was like, well, he's in bounds. Like, he did not get out of bounds. That should have been.
I thought he got out of bounds, but like the replay showed he did not get out of bounds.
And so like, I understand like, well, the call on the field was to stop the clock, but I was like, but that was the incorrect call. And we ran the clock because that would have been the correct call. And then after we ran the clock and decided, we kind of set the Lions up unfairly there, we decided to retroactively be like, actually, he was out of bounds. So we'll just give you the ball with 6 seconds left. And then I just, that was weird. I did not think that was handled very well. Anyway, I don't know how much it mattered. I don't know how much it mattered.
But in a tight ball game,
it was tight at that time. It was a one possession game at that point. The Bears had just scored a touchdown. It was 21-14. You're like, okay, we just get a stop. We go into halftime. We're in this thing. And then they give up a giant touchdown to end half. And now it's like, okay, now it's 28-14 at half. So, it probably made a difference. Okay. All right, Christian, we got to talk about it. We don't have to spend a lot of time. I'll let you dictate, but we got to talk about your Dolphins.
Yeah.
I will say this. This was a fun game that I don't think a lot of people were watching. A lot of scoring. Back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns, literally back-to-back. That was hilarious. Drake May and Tua both had days, both balled. It was great. But your defense started the season off giving up points on 10 straight possessions.
Yeah.
Your defense is probably on its way to being one of the worst units in the league, Christian. I hate to
tell you. I knew this defense was in it. I thought we'd probably have stronger trench play. Unfortunately, that's not.
Your front seven was pretty good today. It was not the problem. It's just not good enough to overcompensate for a terrible secondary.
I mean, our secondary is made up of Jesus, believing in Jesus and friendship. Like it's like there's nothing going like good is going back there. So I don't know what to expect here. I will say this: I am happy the offense. This is an offensive driven team, so I'm glad the offense showed up. Just unfortunately, our defense couldn't stop a cold right now, so it's really unfortunate. And going into this game, I was like, we better win, or I'm wanting Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer fired. I still want that to happen, but I'm a
it's on
little
its
less
way.
angry. Like I'm a little less angry about it. The offense did show up at least, but yeah, no that's second. Our secondary is hot doo doo right now.
I will say that. I mean, look, you're in Buffalo, so
Also, I
maybe
want a David Achan. Achan is the our biggest bright spot.
Devon Achane had it was awesome. I will agree. And look, I do share like a little more optimistic, right? Tua and this offense, they were good. 27 points. Now, unfortunately, it came at the expense of 33 points. I mean, well, you had a kickoff return for a touchdown, but you did have a good offensive day. But I do understand why you're frustrated, and I do wonder. Again, you're going into Thursday night football against the Bills. If you get shellacked by the Bills,
Which I think is going to happen.
what do you think? Do you think there's a risk that they do make a coaching change, or do you think they'll just let it ride?
I don't know. Like Stephen Ross hasn't shown that he's that type of owner. But I mean, starting 0-3 and your team just looks lost. We were just getting made fun of last week for having a players only meeting, and it's week 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the optics doesn't look great. Tua was sacked 5 times. Our right side of our line. I mean, we just put Austin Jackson on injured reserve, and we lost Josh Daniels, our guard, as well. So the line is a mess. Defense can't stop anybody. I mean, you would hope. And if we get embarrassed, which there's a good chance, it's in Buffalo, correct?
Yeah.
It's in Buffalo. We don't play well in Buffalo, and they know us very, very well. I think if we get embarrassed on Thursday, it should happen. Like 0-3, this was supposed to be like a retooling year, and a retool doesn't necessarily mean just a rebuild. Like, hey, we just needed to reset. Josh Greer was talking like, oh, we beat up that defensive line, we addressed the offensive line, and it's not working so far, and you just get shellacked by a division a team in your division that you're competing against. Like, the optics don't look good. So we could Friday. It's on the board. I don't. It may not happen, but it's on the board at least if we get shellacked on Thursday.
And on, I mean, your offensive line is still a weak spot. Tua was sacked 5 times, right?
5 times in the end, dude. The mobile, Tua's dude. I wish he was a little bit more mobile, man. Dude, if he needs an awesome offensive line because he cannot scramble for his life. He cannot scramble.
I want to give you a perspective right here really quick. He was pressured on 43% of his dropbacks today, according to Next Gen Stats. Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that the Patriots blitzed, and look, maybe this data needs to be updated because this is insane to me. So we'll check back, but it says the Patriots only blitzed 2% of the time, which it sounds like they only blitzed on one play all game long, and they put Tua at 43%. I want to give you some context for that. I'm having trouble loading it. Okay, right here. So at a 43% clip, if this was, we're comparing it to last year with the whole season, that would have by far led the league. The Will Levis was pressured 39.7% last year. So when you're getting into the 40% pressured, that is a terrible, terrible day. So, and again, was done with almost no blitzing by the Patriots. So, concerning. And considering the fact that Tua did get sacked on a 4th down play to end the game, that's also terrible. So, okay.
We also Tyreek finally got his reception over 30 yards at a long of 47. And Tua missed him like earlier in the game where it was just like a deep. I don't even know what that is. Like he just runs deep, and then I guess just finding a soft spot in the coverage, and Tua just sailed it over him. Also, like toward the end of the game, where when he threw that interception late in the game, he had a dude on his left, wide open, and that was just like out, just coming out from blocking and just didn't see him.
Man, that's tough. All right. Well, we have one more game to talk about here, and then we're going to get into our rapid-fire games where we're just the last handful of games we're just going to clear through very quickly. The last game here before we get into that, Seahawks-Steelers. Now, this game was on its way to being a very good game. A game that we would have been like, good game. Until...
I was a little torn by this game. I was like, is this good offense? Is it just good defense or just bad offense?
So I have some thoughts on the Steelers defense, but all in all, none of it mattered because we had what very well could end up being the biggest gaffe of the entire NFL season in this game. Caleb Johnson on a kickoff let the ball touch him and then said, "Oh, I missed it. The ball's bouncing into the end zone. I'm good." And proceeded to not go get the ball while the entire kickoff units for both teams are racing to it. And the Seahawks get to it first. They pick it up. They score a touchdown because it is a live ball because it was touched.
Oh, yeah. And that's crazy because usually the Steelers are really good on special teams.
That's why I was like,
that's usually how they win some of these games. They pull out of their asses.
Well, that's how, and that's exactly what my note is because that's how they won in Week 1. They were trailing the entire game, and it wasn't until a kickoff gaffe, a special teams gaffe by the Jets, where they fumbled. Xavier Gibson fumbled the ball, which he got cut for the record, and the Steelers take over, and that gave them the possession to get ahead finally, and that flipped the game entirely. It took it from being a tit for tat 3 to 7 point game to now it's a 2-possession game, and the Steelers just could never recover from it. Pretty rough. And I don't know, Christian. I have some thoughts on the Steelers. I want to give you the chance to interject here if you have any thoughts.
No, I didn't think that Week 1. I didn't think that Week 1 win was the Steelers. Like Aaron Rodgers, for what it's worth. He can still. They had him and DK. I like that connection. At least I think that connection's really nice.
Coming along.
But the offensive line is not good. Rodgers is not mobile, and this defense has to play very, very well, and they need to play well. Make plays on special teams for this team to win, and this is just what the Steelers do. Like if they can't hold you to, I know that kickoff really kind of set Seattle up to win here, but yeah, I never thought this was going to be the Steelers. I never thought they were going to be averaging 30 points. Disappointing they only got 17 on the board. They got to do better with that, but I didn't think the Steelers were just going to be this magical offensive juggernaut.
Yeah, and the thing that is so I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't have high expectations for the Steelers coming into this year. Obviously, I said that this team very well this could be a 6-win team. Like I would not be surprised. I am honestly surprised at how not good this team is. I know they won this crazy back and forth game in Week 1. I don't care. Like the only thing that is working well with this team right now is its passing game. That's it. And even that's not amazing. It's fine. Aaron Rodgers has been, I think, better than I expected him to be. But as you said, the offensive line is not good. They cannot run the ball. They had 56 yards today. And that's coming off of last week when they had 53 yards against a Jets defense that just gave up 224 yards against the Bills, who are not like the Bills are not a great running team. Like, so I'm really like, I'm like, okay, you can't run the ball. Well, how's your defense? I had you as a top 5 defense going into the year. 18 plays of 10 or more yards today. 4 plays of 20 yards or more. They gave up 117 yards on the ground, and the bulk of those came in the second half when you're supposed, like, that's when you need to be locking down. And I just look at this team and I'm like, okay, so you're not stopping the pass very well. You're not stopping the run very well. You're not running the ball very well. You don't protect your quarterback very well. Now you're getting special teams gaffes. Like, what do you do well? And it's like Aaron Rodgers is pretty good.
He still has those plays. I think the one touchdown he threw to DK where, defense jumped off sides, and, he's really good at those plays. He excels at those plays.
We talked about this in week 1. Aaron Rodgers was not throwing the ball deep. This year, he has, out of his 63 attempts through 2 weeks, 4 attempts of 20 yards or more. 4 attempts. And he's only completed 1 of them. So it's just, you have somebody who is not throwing the ball deep. You have somebody who is taking easy throws and expecting, and look, it's working. Like, offensively, like, their offense has not been bad in the passing game, but it's just, this team has been very disappointing to me through 2 weeks. Like, I don't care that they won a game, that they did it with 30 points. Like, this has been concerning for me. So anyway.
Little thing about that, since you brought it up. That's like how Aaron Rodgers operates. He doesn't like to put the ball down the field because, that could lead to interception, hurts his stats, and all that. He does. Like, even in his Green Bay years when he had, like, Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson, like.
And he had a bad interception in the red zone this week as well. So, anyway. Fun little stat before we move on. Aaron Rodgers did tie Brett Favre, other Green Bay Packer great, with 508 touchdowns in his career. I think he moved up to 8th all time. Somebody fact check me on that. So, all right. Well, Christian, you ready to go into some rapid fire games really quick?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's do Rams-Titans really quick. Rams got an expected win. Matt Stafford, little up and down early, but then he righted the ship. Devontae Adams got a lot of love.
Devontae Adams has been a godsend for this offense.
He was even, like, week 1, it was like, oh, that was a really good game, Devontae. Week 2 was like, oh, okay, so this is the power of Devontae. Like, yeah. he's really having a nice kind of twilight to his career with another quarterback who's having a nice twilight to his career. So this defense, I'm still a little skeptical of the defense. Their first 2 weeks, they haven't necessarily played like barn burners of units. The Texans with their struggles offensively, and obviously a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward with a bad offensive line. But, Jared Verse was in and out of this game with injuries, and they looked pretty good. Sacked Cam Ward 5 times. Byron Young got a strip sack on him that kind of ended the game. I mean, it didn't end the game, but it made the game 2 possessions. And the Titans could never dig themselves out of that hole. So it was the final, separation the Rams needed to just take it home. Last thing I'll say, Cam Ward. I love Cam Ward, dude. I'm drinking the Cam Ward Kool-Aid. He, just from last week to this week, again, and this is where I'm telling people, do not go look at the stats. Go watch the games. Go watch the downs. Go watch. Last week was very impressive to me, but he was a little bit stationary. This week he was moving around bad pockets. He was mobile. He was escaping pressure. He was reading, like, he knew, okay, my tackles aren't playing great. One of my tackles is hurt. I need to be kind of mobile. And he had his first touchdown pass of this game of his career came in this game, and it was a crazy touchdown. Where he was rolling out, escaping pressure, and then just threw it across the other side of the field.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
It was awesome.
You can't be doing that. You
can if you can.
Look, sometimes you just need a little luck. Like, that's, but you can't make it living off that.
I see, and there's like this quality that I don't know how else to describe. It sounds so rudiment. It sounds so stupid, but like this is the only way I know how to describe it. There's just certain players that do and don't look like NFL quarterbacks, right? Bryce Young, I don't know, dude. Like, I know he kind of made it a little interesting at the end, but Bryce Young just does not look like an NFL quarterback to me.
I'm still trying to debate. Was that a Cardinals just collapse? Or
I mean, that was more of a refs were deciding to interject themselves a little too much. They were a little flag happy at the end.
The Cardinals were dominating that for much of that game, and I am still like, how did we get here?
The refs. I mean, I don't. We'll talk about that in a little bit when we get to that game. But all this to say, Cam Ward looks like an NFL quarterback. He really does. I mean, he just has his size, his strength, his speed, his athleticism. Like, he looks like this is what an NFL quarterback is supposed to look like. So I was very impressed with Cam Ward yet again, even in a loss and in a tough loss at that, where he did have some. He had some rookie mistakes. He's gonna have those, but that's okay.
He'll make them.
Anything else on this game?
No, not really.
All right, let's talk Bills-Jets. Dominating win. Nothing much to talk about. This game was over in the first, 10 minutes, it felt like. Yeah. Jets punt on 6 of their first 8 possessions, and they had a fumble. Josh Allen had to leave temporarily with a busted nose, and Mitch Trubisky stepped in and played pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. The Jets, Justin Fields played terrible, and then he ended up leaving with concussion protocol. Terrible offensively, terrible defensively. It's week 2 of a rebuild, so, I'm trying to not panic, but, holy moly. We saw what they did in week 1 where it was like, hey, y'all lost, but impressive. Week 2, it was like we saw none of that progression stick. So, little concerned. But trying to not be. Week 2 of a rebuild, it's going to take some time. But very disappointed in that. And good for the Bills, It's easy to – you have an emotional, crazy win like that. Again, separating great teams from good teams, right? A great team is not fazed by having an emotional, crazy win at the end of last week. They just come in and take care of business. The Bills did that. So, anyway, anything else?
No, I think you put all that.
All right, 49ers Saints. I don't have hardly anything on this game.
It was fun.
It was
the little bits I saw on Red Zone.
I have a bad take. on this. You got to let me. Mac Jones is poverty Jameis Winston. He's poverty. He's bad. I
don't think that's a bad take. I think that's a pretty fair take.
Jameis Winston is good in the sense that he's bad, whereas Mac Jones is not good. Mac Jones, he had a pretty good game in this game. I'm not taking that away from him, but
he had some throws.
He is Jameis Winston is crazy strength and athleticism, and he's I'm just throwing the ball all over. I don't care what's going on.
Amazing quotes whenever you hear him talk.
And Mac Jones is not as fun to watch as Jameis, but he's still kind of fun. He's dirty. He's a dog in the best and the worst ways. I mean, he was trying to run over linebackers in this game.
You want him on your team,
Yeah, but I want to be my starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. So
it's kind of like the Pat Bev. He's kind of like the Pat Bev.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I like that. I like that comparison.
You'd rather him be on your side than on the opposing.
And look, when he's the starter, he's going to make crazy, wild plays, and some of them are going to be like, okay, and some of them are going to be like, damn, Mac, I don't know what your deal is. But anyway, decent game. They get the win. Saints are now 0-8 with Spencer Rattler, who did have 3 touchdowns in this game. He played pretty well.
He was okay. Had a chance to win it there, but 49ers defense stepped up and got a sack there.
And Alvin Kamara had a solid day as well. I really like this 49ers really quick. Their defensive unit.
I told you Robert Saleh was going to get this fixed. I told you.
Well, it's because they're doing kind of different stuff than they were under the first regime of Robert Saleh, because they have obviously.
Well, now, he doesn't have all the talent.
This defense is still anchored with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, and they have some young studs there who are kind of showing out right. Michael Williams is pretty good, but I just am very D Winters in their linebacking court. they got some dudes. It's just a matter of, kind of putting it together and seeing what their strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's move on. Talk about Browns and Ravens really quick. What you got on this one, Christian?
Do we need to put Mark Andrews down?
Oh, no. You think so?
Oh, we're getting there. I do like DeAndre Hopkins. Looked really, really good in this game. Looks like they got their deep down the field guy, which is nice for Lamar. Probably is. I like Zay, but DeAndre Hopkins probably the best receiver he's had so far. And they just took care of business. Like they did what they were supposed to do. Looked a little shaky in the beginning, but the Browns are the Browns, and they're better than them. And Ravens just took care of business. And I really wish I could say it more eloquently than that. Derrick Henry did not have a good game. Like I know, I forgot who was talking on the Browns. I think it was the secondary player, and Derrick Henry was like, "Well, we'll see you on Sunday," and he didn't have a good game. But if you ask Derrick Henry, he would rather walk out with the win. So yeah,
especially
good on the
after
Ravens.
what happened last week, where he had an incredible performance and obviously had the bad.
He'll bounce back.
Yeah, I don't worry about Derrick Henry. Not a great day, but offensively they got it done. I mean, you had some new guys doing some crazy stuff. You had Tylan Wallace catching a touchdown pass. And here's a little fun stat for you: Lamar has had 4 touchdown passes in this game of over 10 yards. Since the start of 2024, he has the most of those in the league with 32.
Dang.
Second place, the next closest, is Joe Burrow with 22. So Lamar gets a lot of 10-plus touchdowns. And the only other thing I have on this game, the Browns' offense may be the worst unit in the league. It's in the running. I know your Dolphins got something to say on defense, but, holy moly. They are bad offensively. They are horrible.
They're starting a 40-year. What did you expect? One thing, it came out this morning that the Ravens were planning on taking Shador.
I heard that.
Round, and he told them no, don't draft me. And then the Browns drafted him a few picks later. So I thought that was pretty interesting. He is saying that he didn't want to start for, I guess, be a backup to Lamar. But dude, I don't know what other situation, that's one of the best situations you could have gone to. You could have learned from Lamar Jackson, who came into the league being doubted as you were being doubted. Shador, I don't know why he said no to that. So
I mean, look, I'm not. I obviously I would hate if Lamar got hurt, but you get drafted by them. You sit behind Lamar. You get, as you said, learn from him. You're in a great organization.
But I think Todd Monken is a good play caller.
You're in a great spot in Baltimore. All it takes is Lamar to, pull a hammy or something, and he's out for a month. And you have 4 games to play in a really good system and show everybody what you can do. That's how you get it to the offseason, and everybody's like, I'll sign you to a $20 million contract. Come play for me. And then all of a sudden you're a starter and you have your pick and choosing of who you want to go play for, versus now it's I didn't want to go sit on the bench for the Ravens. Yeah, now you're sitting on the bench for the Browns. Do you have a better shot to play with the Browns? Sure, but you're playing with the Browns.
So. You're behind Dylan Gabriel too.
Yeah. So, all right, 2 more games left. Panthers-Cardinals. Look, full disclosure, audience, I do not have a lot on this game. There was 3 games going on in the afternoon window, and this was the game I was not really watching.
Well, it started off pretty Bryce Young had 2 turnovers in their first 2 drives. And I was like, well, Arizona, they went up 10-0, but should have been 14-0, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it was tough. And really even the ending sequence when the Panthers had a chance to go win the game, they were not moving the ball well. The only reason they were able to keep their drive alive was because the Cardinals just kept getting insane penalties. And even that wasn't enough to get them across the finish line. So, yeah, I grow more and more out on Bryce Young every week. And I hate to say it because I don't hate the guy. Like, I just, at some point, it's like, when are we just going to call this? He's into year 3, y'all. Like, this is no longer, I'm watching talk about Cam Ward. I'm watching Cam Ward, and I'm, like, more impressed with Cam Ward as a rookie than in his second game against some pretty tough competition. Week 1, Broncos on the road. Week 2, he's playing the Rams. And, he is, to me, lights out better than what Bryce Young is putting on tape right now. So, it's tough. I wish that wasn't true, but I can't lie to the audience, Can't lie. All right.
Cardinals survive it.
Cardinals do survive, and they're 2-0. So keep an eye out. Sneaky, sneaky. Granted, their wins are against the Saints and the Panthers. But all right. Final game, and then we'll talk about some Week 3 matchups we're looking forward to. Broncos, Colts. This game, of all the games that happened this week, this was the one that made me the most mad. It's what you look for in the NFL, crazy endings, but boy, I really wanted the Broncos to win. And boy, did they let me down in every way possible. Their defense got gashed all game long. Gave up big runs. Pastor Tan left the game. Bo Nix was on his way to redeeming himself, was having a really stellar game, and then had a back-breaking interception at a critical moment when they could have, at minimum, gone up by 8 points. And then they're in position anyway. It's 28-26. It's like, okay, well, we're going to kick a field goal. And it was like a 40-something yard field goal. And their kicker, Will Lutz, shanks it. He kicks it, and it takes a sharp turn out, and it goes, what is that, wide right?
Wide right, yeah.
And then on the next drive, the Colts are slowly but surely getting it there. They have to line up and kick a very long field goal. Their kicker totally shanks that.
Yeah, I walked out of the room.
Yeah. And then they got a 15-yard leverage personal foul penalty, and they got to kick it again, and he made it the second time.
Yeah, I walk out. I'm like, why is the game's over? Why is he kicking it again?
No, they got a 15-yard penalty. So it was just very tough. Tough day for the Broncos. If this had happened in week 8, when you're like sitting there at 6-1 or something, like you're like, okay, is what it is.
This one, yeah.
But having it happen in week 2 is brutal. And now you're going to play the Chargers next week, who we'll see how they perform on Monday night. But yeah, just tough for the Broncos. As for the Colts, you're 2-0. Shockingly, you're 2-0.
It was better than I thought they were.
I'm still, how long can Daniel Jones do this for? Like, I'm still like a little. We've seen quarterbacks be incredible for the first month of a season, and then we get into the second month, and we're like, oh, right, I remember now.
That is fair. That is fair. But for these first, 2 weeks,
great.
You should get your flowers, Daniel Jones. You've been playing great.
I really want to do if the season ended today, who's the MVP? Daniel Jones is on the list.
He's on the list.
I
don't know if he'll win it, but he's on the list.
It's insane to think about, but Daniel Jones is on the list. His stats for the season through 2 weeks are as follows. Daniel Jones is 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's got 588 yards. He's completing 71% of his passes, and he's got a 111 passer rating. Pretty awesome. Pretty good. So, and Jonathan Taylor, boy, he had a huge day today.
Yes.
Which was cool because I have him in fantasy in a bunch of leagues. So, all right. Well, Christian, one more thing to do before we get on with the get on. We got to talk about. I know it's a little weird talking about week 3 when there's still week 2 games, one currently being played and 2 left to be played. But let's talk about some of these week 3 matchups. What are some of the big ones that we're going to be watching? I'll let you take the first pick here.
Obviously Thursday. I'm not excited for this one, but I think that is a okay game, and it could, like we talked about earlier in the podcast, we could see Friday morning Mike McDaniel losing his job, depending on how it goes. So that one, um, I'm interested in seeing. I also like this Cincinnati Minnesota game.
Yeah.
Um, Jake Browning beat this team as well when he played, so it's going to be interesting to see that now. But Brian, and it's going to be interesting to see how Brian Flores likes to mess with him. And then obviously the Monday night game is going to probably should be cinema. We have
Cinema.
it should be. We have Detroit and Baltimore. I think on Monday night that's going to be a lovely game. And the last one, I will say I'm looking forward to is the Rams Eagles play. That wasn't the one I was talking about, but the Houston Jags play.
Yeah, that's a big game
Those
as well. Big division game.
Those usually games are pretty nice, but also the Rams Eagles. I didn't know they were playing, so I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Rams Eagles. I'm also very excited about this Broncos Chargers game. That's going to be a big game. We'll see how the Chargers do. But yeah, I mean, you're either going to have a 2-0 and a 1-1, or two 1-1 teams, and they're fighting for the division early in the season, kind of that early pole position. Bears Cowboys, America's game of the week on Fox. That could be a very interesting game.
Dallas game of the week.
Of course,
they should have probably got the game of the week this week. That was
well, I mean, Chiefs Eagles. What
yeah,
you do?
yeah.
49ers. Wow, 49ers Cardinals. Sorry, I don't know why I messed that up. Is also very interesting to me.
I hope. No, Brock Purdy's gonna be out for like 2 to 5 weeks. So
yeah. So I want to see how Mac Jones does at home. Cardinals obviously looking to be 3-0. 49ers 2-0. Sneaky 2-0. So big NFC West showdown there. And then I mean we talked about the Chiefs Giants both 0-2. You know who's gonna pull that one out. And I guess my last one, Steelers Patriots.
Oh, I'll throw this bonus one in here. I like it. New Orleans, Seattle.
Fine, I'll do one more bonus then too, Christian. Raiders, Commanders. That'll be fun. So, I mean, we got a really good Week 3 slate, to be honest. I feel like we listed basically all the games. But it'll be a good week. So, we will catch y'all on Thursday to talk about these games, recap some of the final action. Wow, J.J. McCarthy just got destroyed.
Yeah, I just clicked in and saw that. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, he looks a little shaken up right there. But anyway, I getting distracted. We'll let y'all go. We'll be back here on Thursday to rock with you. We'll give our picks. We'll give our predictions. We'll give the vibe rankings. We'll talk about the news. So tune in then. Check us out daily for podcasts. Like, subscribe, give us a rating, share it, tell your friends. We love you. We cherish you. Thank you for rocking with us, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.